Okay, since your hair's cut since last time I saw you, I have to ask you a question first.
All right.
So, given what I just said, what is the illusion that you're waiting for before you'll totally open to infinity? We're all doing it, not just you. I'm just asking you for,
That I'm always, the illusion is that I always have to look for something, or I'm always searching for my path, basically, is what it is.
Good.
And so it's like I'm always searching for my path.
Great.
Like, all the time. And so it irks me, or I get in knots or whatever, because I feel like I'm not doing it or whatever, and then that's kind of comes in.
And what are the ways that you search for your path? I mean, read books, see teachers, think. How are your particular means of searching for your path?
It's really, I guess, the main ways would be going inward, and then thought. I don't know if that makes sense.
You mean meditating, sitting there thinking?
Like meditating, or I would say meditating and just thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And, reading some things, but I don't do it too intensely.
So it's mostly through, when you say meditating, what are you doing? What are you using that word to mean?
Usually sitting.
Sitting and, people could watch their breaths, have a visualization.
Right. It's more like listening to an inner voice. Like I could ask myself questions, and then listening to what the higher voice says. And it's right on.
Mm-hmm. Well, if it was right,
getting my most insight.
It can't be that right on, right? Or you wouldn't have this illusion that there's this path that you don't have.
I think it's pretty right on. Now, what I do with that is also where I have some sort of trouble.
So tell me what your inner voice has told you to do, that if you did, you would stop searching for a path, which is your big illusion.
Grow plants.
It told you to grow plants. And have you?
Not really, no.
Why?
It's like lack of discipline, just me fucking off, like.
So what's preventing you to open to infinity is you're not growing plants. It could be. Is that the best shot you've got? Your deepest self told you to grow plants. You're not growing them because of your own laziness.
That's true.
Okay? So what would it take to get you to grow plants?
Not much.
Well, obviously it's going to take something that...
you want to know specifically?
Well, you haven't done it, you said.
Right.
Right? So something isn't happening.
Right.
What?
Haven't got the place to grow them.
So you need to find the place.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's stopping you from finding the place? When did your voice tell you this? 10 minutes ago, or like a day ago? Or
probably, it's been telling me that for a year.
So for a year you've been avoiding your highest voice?
I've grown plants, but not the way I want to grow plants.
Well, I don't care how you, I'm talking about your highest voice. Is that what you mean when you say that? Have you grown plants the way you're...
I haven't grown them the way my higher voice has said.
Okay, so let me just say this. I'm a little insulted here. Where are the tissues? Why would I possibly want to waste my time trying to help you if your deepest inner higher self has already told you what to do and you don't even listen to it? Really, that's a serious question. Convince me that anything I say to you, just this bozo outside of you, that you're going to believe me more than your deepest, highest self and do something about it.
Nothing you can say to do.
So you're basically a wasted case until you listen to your higher voice. And you're not only a wasted case in the circle, you have to be a wasted case to your woman, because regardless of what any woman says, what she wants from you is that depth of consciousness. that you have because you're living your deepest purpose. And when you look at her, she's part of your deepest purpose. And when you embrace her, you're embracing her with the strength of knowing you're living life purposefully, so she can trust you that you're living life purposefully with her, and she wants that strength and depth of commitment from you. Is there any woman who wouldn't want that from their man? Okay.
When that is happening, when I can feel that, when she can feel that, that's what I want.
That's what we all want. So, what's the problem? Why haven't you started growing plans? All I care about right now is why you haven't started growing plans like your inner voice told you to. There has to be a reason. Let me put it this way. If you did, what are you afraid would happen?
Am I afraid would happen?
Yeah, can you answer that question? If you grew, like tomorrow, you just went out, found a place, did your best, what are you afraid might happen?
Just afraid that I'd be successful, something like that.
And then, if you were successful, then what are you afraid of? It's got to be something there, or you would have done it.
It's like, I don't know if anyone, it's like stepping off a cliff, kind of.
Yeah, but when you're stepping over a cliff, you're afraid of falling and dying down there, right? So what are you afraid of?
Leaving where I'm at.
Yeah, and where are you at that you're afraid of leaving? What is it you're afraid of leaving?
Comfort.
Okay, so you're afraid of leaving comfort. It's going to risk your comfort to follow your higher vision.
Right.
Big duh. I wish I had like a
right.
Jerry Springer or something. Okay, but that is absolutely cool and understandable. And the reason I'm not enlightened and every other single person in this room is not enlightened is precisely that reason in their little version. So the reason that we are each afraid to surrender completely to infinity is that we are attached to something that is presently appearing. Can you feel the pain it's causing you to be attached to that comfort? In other words, you're not getting to live your deepest purpose. Does it hurt to not be able to grow plants the way your higher self told you? Well, when the pain that it causes you to not follow your higher purpose is more painful than the comfort you get from holding on to your place, you'll grow. Otherwise, there's not anyone that can help you, or anything, or any other higher voice, or anything. I mean, you might as well just stop faking like you're trying to grow. And, do something, pick your nose, I don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know what to do to grow. You're going to follow your higher voice. You know you haven't done that because you're afraid of giving up your comfort. That's honorable. It's true, I think, for everyone. Okay? Until the searing intensity of pain for being as fucking mediocre as you're being, for your standards, not mine. I don't care what you live. It's your life. I may never see you again. But the searing pain it causes you to not live your highest purpose, until that pain makes you jump off that cliff, there's nothing anyone can do to make you jump off that cliff. And I could guarantee you're going to lose comfort when you jump off that cliff. It's not something you have to wonder about. You are going to eventually lose everything if you jump off that cliff. All that will be left is perfect freedom. And until you personally, and each of us, but until you personally say, I will give up my relationship for perfect freedom. I will give up my money for perfect freedom. I will give up my body, the existence of my body, for perfect freedom. I mean, that's a big thing. There are very few people in the history of the world who have ever done that, but that's what we're talking about here, so it gives you a direction for the next million lifetimes. But until you can say, this is not satisfactory to me, it's okay. My body's okay, my money's okay, my wife is okay, the world is okay, my food is okay, I'm having a pretty good time, but it's insufficient. And I am willing to give all of this up for the infinity of fearless freedom. If I was talking to a woman, I would call it love. Perfect, infinite, unbounded love. Until you're willing to give up everything for that, you won't. And no one can help you. You could do self-improvement. So you could go, whoa, I'm not giving that up yet, but in the meantime I'm going to lift weights and build muscles, and I'm going to make more money, and I'm going to get healthier by eating spirulina or something, I mean, you could do all kinds of self-improvement things while you're holding back. You could also do all kinds of therapy. You could go, whoa, I'm not going to do what my highest voice wants, but I'm definitely going to find out what my father did to me when I was young, and I'm definitely going to release these emotions I've been holding back all along. You could do therapy and self-improvement, but in the end, the bottom line is that you're afraid to let go. You're afraid of something. And in your case, it's comfort. In most cases, it is. So you're afraid to let go of the comfort that you've attained in your life, which probably, I don't need to say it. So when you're ready to do that, you'll do that. And what spiritual practice is for you, true spiritual practice, in my opinion, for you, would be to feel how much you're settling for comfort. Just feel that. Allow yourself daily, moment by moment, to continually feel, wow, I really am. I would really rather, I don't know the details of your life, but I'd really rather sit in my room and do this than follow my higher vision to what I know is my deepest purpose. I would really rather do this even though it hurts and I feel small and mediocre and I'm not living my purpose. There's a part of me that's afraid of jumping off this cliff and losing this comfort. And that's where I'm at. And just know that and sit with that. And it's by being with that, which is what is, that things transform. It's by being with what is that things transform. And that is what is for you. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So the whole thing of looking for a path, which is what you originally said, tells me that whatever you call your spiritual practice isn't cutting deep enough, because that's not your actual situation. You're not really looking for a path. Your highest vision has already given you a path. You're afraid to live it, and you're afraid to live it because you're attached to comfort. So your spiritual practice is to sit in the cauldron of being afraid to let go of your comfort until that pain is so much you just go, I have to do this, and you jump. And then you have to do that moment by moment by moment, because you and everyone around you would prefer that you hold on to the comfort than jump. And so as soon as you jump, you could be absolutely certain that those closest to you especially will freak. And you will too. And the practice of jumping over and over.
Over and over?
Over and over.
Not just once.
If it were just once, we could finish tonight.
Yeah.
How many people in here have felt a moment of what they would call deep consciousness or deep love? Okay, there's the just once. Look at what good it did. I guess I could add to therapy and self-improvement peak experiences as absolutely useless for spiritual growth. I mean, I don't mean absolutely useless in the sense like they have no use. I mean, they aren't sufficient, is a better way of putting it. Peak experiences mean nothing unless you then use them to guide what you're moment by moment practicing. In your case, jumping off that abyss into your highest purpose against your body, mind's desires for comfort and everyone else's desires for comfort. And you picked for a girlfriend like a comfort pig, as far as I know. I mean, I haven't talked to her lately. I might be making assumptions here. But, you know...
Comfort pig.
Do you have a better term?
No.
Okay. Now again, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with comfort. It's only wrong if you're choosing comfort instead of your highest purpose. If you're living your highest purpose, heck, add to it all the comfort and money and relationships and health that you could possibly add. Because those are beautiful things. We're alive. We might as well enjoy what's beautiful here. So once you're living your highest purpose, or as you're living your highest purpose, live as beautifully as you possibly can manage. Just in your case, what you're describing is choosing comfort instead of your highest purpose, and that's what I'm talking about. And now I'm adding, just to start getting around the circle, that the person sitting next to you, who, if I remember correctly, and if nothing's changed since the last time I've read anyone's letters, is your intimate partner, is like a devotee of comfort. So what people tend to do, and not just you, I'm just picking on you, I have no idea why, because I like you probably, is they assemble things in their life that hold them into what they think they want to let go of, but they're afraid to. So they go, well, I can't really jump because now we have a new house, or whatever situation might happen to be happening. And you really have to face that we are each strategizing. There's a war going on within each of us, within each of us, though. We'll call it our higher self. Is that what you called it, the voice? What did you call it, voice?
The higher voice.
Okay, your higher voice. But we could call it anything. The divine, infinity, love, the higher voice. I'll use higher voice for you. Your higher voice knows, intuits, feels how to live. And every other part of you knows that it's the end of everything that you know if you do that. Every part of you knows that if you follow your highest voice, you put at risk all the things the rest of you has developed. And therefore, the trick of spiritual life is to realize that there's a holy war going on between your higher voice and every other part of you, as well as the rest of the world and everybody else, who wants to sustain itself. You want to sustain a kind of comfortable life, or whatever you want to call it. Your body wants that, your mind wants that. It's only your higher voice, or whatever word you want to use for that, the deepest self, your love, that knows that there's something deeper and truer and more real than any of what you've built so far. And yet you've built it. And all those parts of you that have built it go, be careful now. Oh my God, what's going to happen if you do that? And so the disposition of someone truly practicing spiritual life in general is one of anguished ecstasy. The anguish is because you are in absolute pain that things suck as much as they do. And the ecstasy is you're always feeling into that deep self, which is ecstasy, which is bliss itself, which is openness or love itself. But that doesn't change the fact that you're clinging to all kinds of things that are falling apart. And that's suffering. That is what suffering is. So, to live in anguished ecstasy and not bow out into self-improvement, peak experiences, or therapy, to use the three things we've talked about so far, is to live a truly spiritual way of life rather than a New Age way of life, which is focused on improving things, which doesn't last, as in any religion in the world would tell you that. So your practice then, and we'll end now and go on, is to either be listening to your higher voice and acting on it moment by moment by moment, against the grain, against what the other parts of your mind says, against what your thoughts say, against what your body wants to do, against what your girlfriend wants to do, against what everyone wants you to do, and listen to your higher voice over and over and over, over and over and over, over and over and over. Or, because you won't be able to do that, I'm giving you the or, allow yourself to feel the suffering it creates that you're not doing that. I mean, really feel it. Because it's killing you, isn't it? I mean, isn't it the deepest pain of your life that you're not living this highest purpose?
Yes.
So just feel that deep pain, and that deep pain is what will move you to listen more and more to your highest voice over years. Anything else you want to ask?
I could ask lots of things, but on that feels good.
Oh yeah, you could ask lots of things? What else?
I could let her ask.
Well, wait a second. Let's not go there yet.
Right.
If you did what I just said, either live your highest voice or feel the pain that you're not living your highest voice causes, and you stayed in that place, and you shared that, you lived that intensity in your life with her, is there anything else to talk about? Are you sure? I mean, imagine living that way, either actually living from your highest purpose with her, or showing her the intensity of your suffering from not living with your highest purpose, which is a deep integrity, to be able to go, I'm not living my purpose and I know it and it's killing me, and staying totally present with that. If you did that, what would be left for you?
I can't think of anything right now because it'd all just be open and out there.
Exactly. So that would be the end of the story.
There wouldn't be anything that kind of like came between us that we hadn't talked about.
Exactly. And even if there has, you just do it. You living your deepest purpose, or you're staying in the suffering of not living your deepest purpose, and you stay there and you stay there and you stay there and you stay there. And everyone who's not enlightened needs breaks. So what'll happen is sometimes you'll just go, let's just go get stoned. See? And then you go, okay, and you go off and you do your little rituals of pleasure that you've developed together, and you do that, and then at some point you go, God, I can't do this anymore, I've got to get back to it. You go, oh no, just a few more minutes, come on, just a few more minutes. and then you'll have to go, no, back to the practice. And that's what good practice is. You take breaks when you need to, but you always know they are breaks, and you come back to practice. Okay? So that should be all you need to know for the rest of your life. And if it isn't, then get your money back for tonight. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Next.